Guess who's back, people? It is the Mr. Phelps Show with coffee. Thank you all. Thank you for the applause. I am a little bit upset though because my coffee mug, it's been so long since I've come back. My coffee mug, my original one, has been taken. Somebody must have taken it because I always keep it in a safe place and somehow it got misplaced, lost. So I have a little Christmas mug here. Not as cool, I know. In fact, I still have to patent my my own mug. I'm working on that, but you know, I still got the coffee. Clear and refreshing, you betcha. So I welcome you all to the Mr. Phelps Show. It's been a while, but I finally made my way back, and we're back for more fun and more coffee. Today we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about some narrative writing because in the past I've talked about argumentative writing, I've talked about explanatory writing, and now it's time for narrative writing. Woohoo! Who's ready? I know I am. So, with narrative writing, there comes a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different stories. You can take it in so many different directions. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about personal narrative, because that's kind of where we start, talking about ourselves and using personal narrative techniques. But then we start to branch out into all these other fields like adventure, fantasy, mystery, horror. All of those are different directions you can take your stories in and write narratives. And it really never ends. I mean, narrative is so vast. You can come up with a bunch of different types of stories and scenarios. And, you know, let's be honest here. As much as I want to tell stories, I gotta find this coffee mug. Where is it? Anyway, we're gonna get going with that, but first, I need to figure out what's up with this coffee mug and why mine is gone. So, you know what that means. I'm going to call my good friend, Detective Stache, or as he likes to be called, Sherlock Stache. And we're going to hear what he has to say about, see if he can help us find my coffee mug. He was able to pull it off last time, and this time, let's see if we can get a hold of him and figure out the puzzle to this mystery of why I have a substitute coffee cup and not the right one. Still a good cup, but not the same charm as the other coffee cup, my main coffee cup. So, let's see if Detective Stache can help us. I think I hear him coming right now. Come on in, Sherlock Stache or Detective Stache. We're so great to see you. It's been quite a catastrophe. Granted, I still have my coffee, but you know, I lost my other coffee mug. That's my main coffee mug, and you know, it's just been very dismal around here. So anyway, please take a seat. I see. Okay, you're already sitting, so that's good. Hello, Mr. Phelps. Glad to be back. I see you have summoned me here. So let's see here. Sherlock Stache, can you tell me, or actually tell our audience, a little bit about yourself and why you're here? I know I called you here, but just, you know, tell us a little bit about yourself for the audience. That would be great. I'm sure they'd like to hear a little bit and give a little bit of your story, because we are attempting to get into some narrative writing as well, so it would be helpful to hear from you, hear your story, and get going on the Mr. Phelps Show. Hello all, I am Detective Stache. Nice to be here, with you, and discuss how we can find this coffee mug and some narrative writing with mystery and detective and crimes. People like crime scenes. They do. It's very good writing because it builds suspense, and it makes you want to hold on and read on and on and on and on, and not put the book down, because you think this person did it, but then that person did it, and then I got all my arms twisted. That's mystery writing, because you never know who truly does it. Excellent, excellent. So you're a true detective. You are a crime detective. You are a mystery detective. So would you say your genre of writing is mystery, or at least your genre of story is mystery? Is that what you're telling me? So yes, I would say I am part of the mystery genre you're talking about. Every narrative they talk about to me has a crime with a bunch of different mysteries that must be solved to find the crime, okay? And so, you know, one of the crimes is my mustache doesn't always stay on my face, and it's not particularly fun. So that's one of the biggest crimes, but there are other crimes, like finding the coffee mug. We're doing this for a second time now, Mr. Phelps, so you better hold on to your coffee mug and put up your security so it won't get taken. Now we just need to find it, okay? I'm going to ask you to please help me look for it, and you know, I'll see you back in a few. I really appreciate your help, and I'll pay you back with some coffee when we're done with this, but if you can please help me, I'm going to talk a little bit about some personal narrative writing, but that would be helpful if you could go find some clues, and we'll come back and regroup. How does that sound, Detective Stache? Alright, I better get taking off now. I need to find out more about this scene, and I will come back and I will answer some questions and fill you in on who has the coffee mug. So, I better be off now. Tip of my cap. Take care, Mr. Phelps. Excellent, excellent. I know I need to give you some time to really take this all in and look at the crime scene and see where my coffee mug went. So I'll have you do that, and we'll be back in a bit. I'm going to talk about some narrative writing. I'm going to let Mr. Stache do his job here and get back to it. Thank you. Hello everyone. So we are getting started with our narrative writing unit, and to start we have a story map, or rather an outline. Now normally when you have a narrative you see the mountain outline, and while that's effective, I took a different approach here. So essentially your exposition will include the protagonists, the main characters, or who the story is about, the setting where it takes place, and oftentimes the antagonist, who's against or what's working against the main character, and then the problem will come up. So these four things are generally in the exposition. The reason I made boxes instead of the mountain is because I want you to add detail in the boxes, because the more detail you put in here, the easier it is when you get to actually write the story. So just keep in mind the protagonist, setting, antagonist, and problem are all part of the exposition. And then we go down here and we see 3 boxes for events. There's pretty smallish boxes, but you're welcome to add more. Essentially, these are part of the problem. They're the meat of your story. You know, the rising action, the climax, the falling action. I would think event 1 roughly, and it might not correlate exactly, but generally event 1 might be rising action, then you have climax, falling action for event 3. It may not be that smooth, but at least you know if you fill in the information here, you have the middle of what your story is about. And just keep in mind, the mountain is basically this middle part with the events. And then lastly, we have solution, which is resolution in the mountain when you get to the bottom of the mountain. And this again sums everything up in your story and gives the solution or ending to the story. So you're going to see me use this throughout this video for different characters that we meet with their stories to show you examples. But generally, this is what you will use when you write your story, this outline. So while Detective Stache, or Sherlock Stache as his name is out looking for this coffee mug and finding some clues on it, I'm going to talk about some personal narrative, and who better to ask than the mystery man himself. The mystery man himself. Notice how I sipped coffee just to build the anticipation. Drum roll. Lil Phelps. Yeah, that's right. Lil Phelps. You heard the entrance hymn. Guess who's back? Back again. Well, Lil Phelps is back with another great rap. I just used that catchphrase. But he's back, and might not be rapping for us, but he's going to give us a little interview about, or I'm going to give him a little interview about how he became the greatest rapper on the planet. So, you know, we're going to talk with him and see how his life went from being a normal everyday person to becoming a rapper who can rap and, you know, have fun with lyrics. So, without further ado, it's always good to get a personal story from someone. We're going to hand it over to Lil Phelps. Here we go. Hey y'all, it's Lil Phelps. Welcome. I'm finally on the set of the Mr. Phelps Show officially without having a throwing my music into there. So Lil Phelps, you'll say that, you know, you grew up with a passion for poetry and writing lyrics, but you never really thought you'd be a rapper. You just kind of came out and started rapping based on the way stories were written, the way poems were written. You just like to play with rhymes, and you know, you just built a rhythm just by putting together these words. Is that right? So, as you know, I'm a rapper, but I'm not the traditional rapper. Okay? How did I learn how to rap? Well, I can tell you. I got an inspiration from writing. I was a writer, and I wrote down all my lyrics, made rhymes, and made some poetry. And I said, you know what? I can perform this. So I get up and I perform the poetry, and that's really how it came to be. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just, well, there is a rhyme or reason. It's just that I took my writing ability and put it to the paper and then put it to the stage. Excellent, excellent. Alright. So, Lil Phelps, it's pretty amazing that you became such a profound rapper, and maybe I embellished a little bit, best rapper on the planet, maybe not, but you're definitely an inspiration for many, and that's why you have such a great personal narrative. I'm sure you back that up with some great personality traits, right? When I was younger, I never really, truly got out of my eggshell. It was always shy for me to go up and hit the stage. But when I realized I had the talent and I could put it on paper, I realized I could push myself, and I broke out of that shyness. There's one time I went away and I took the stage, and Lil Phelps, he rocked the world. And, you know, I don't memorize all my tunes. I read them on paper. But I take to the stage and I perform, and I do a fantastic job, and that's where I stand with it, you know? Perseverance, suspense, all these words I could talk about times, you know. My heart was pounding, I was scared, I was nervous to take the stage, but finally I let the lyrics take hold of me, and I went and I performed, and I did a fantastic job. Because Lil Phelps, I have confidence in my rapping ability, and that's how we go. It's my personal story, coming out of my shell and taking the stage and rapping. LP heist, real games, no gimmicks. Them schoolyard kids read Catcher in the Rye, Catcher in the Rye, Catcher in the Rye. Them schoolyard kids read Catcher in the Rye, Catcher in the Rye, Catcher in the Rye. Guess who's back? Back again. Phelps, he's back to defend. Guess who's back? 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 I've created a rapper, because nobody wants to see Mr. no more. They want Lil Phelps, if you know what I mean. You might not remember me because I had, what, 1 rap to my name, maybe 2. Now this is 3. It's so few, but guess what? I'm bringing more back, despite all the flack. It's LP here in this funny looking hat. I'm brand new, ain't it true? You'll be amused, because I'm rapping all night till the sky loses its blue. Years ago I was a dapper. They didn't think I had it in me to become a rapper, but I played with words and rhymes in my inventory, put them to the paper and wrote my story. So listen up as I rap away and share the glory while you sit at home watching Finding Dory. It's about time to take me seriously, an ordinary guy who's coming through the rye of a small farm town where the haters say, I bet he don't get around because he looks like a maniac and raps like a clown. So all you peeps named Lil Phelps C, you might think this is all but a dream. I've got an entourage, can't you see? For all you know, I'm the next prodigy. So all you peeps named Lil Phelps C, you might think this is all but a dream. I've got an entourage, can't you see? For all you know, I'm the next prodigy. There's 2 beings. Where's the rapper gone? He's in the teacher Phelps, been there all along. He's got that little alter ego hidden beneath, ready for the show. And now it's time to go. Rapping about literature, might as well be Edgar Allan Poe. Although he portrays Lincoln, Cat in the Hat, and Romeo, he brings lit to life. Didn't you know? Lil Phelps is back with the crazy costumes he fads and an all-new rap, better than ever at that. It's time to show these students, because rapping ain't about money, fire, fame. That's not my game. It's about passion, rhymes, reliving the daily strives of the Catcher in the Rye. I woke up one day and they told me that I could never write a famous rap, but I got more jingles than my house has got shingles, and I'm coming at you now with this hot new single. So all you peeps named Lil Phelps C, you might think this is all but a dream. I've got an entourage, can't you see? For all you know, I'm the next prodigy. So all you peeps named Lil Phelps C, you might think this is all but a dream. I've got an entourage, can't you see? For all you know, I'm the next prodigy. For years and years, they're underestimating the power of literature. It's frustrating, but good books make good raps. There's no debating that Lil Phelps is here to rise the rating. All the skills that you learn, he's grading. You'll see, I'm not here to preach, nor to breach, hoping I'll reach, because I'm here to teach the literature to keep. So listen to my speech, don't fall asleep. Knowledge is the soul that we reap, so take a back seat. I'll be discreet. Reading can be fun when you bring the beats with straight fire that overheats. He's elite, no one can compete. They're obsolete. When Lil Phelps takes the stage, literature is complete. The peeps are on their feet, taking books to the street. Look, I'm not here to bring collusion, like the rappers who start pollution. No, it's an evolution where I'm feeling like Confucius, ready to write a constitution, starting a revolution at your institution where I distributing these Lil Phelps lyrics as a contribution. So all you peeps named Lil Phelps C, you might think this is all but a dream. I've got an entourage, can't you see? For all you know, I'm the next prodigy. So all you peeps named Lil Phelps C, you might think this is all but a dream. I've got an entourage, can't you see? For all you know, I'm the next prodigy. Lil Phelps here, bringing literature to life. Thank you. Excellent, excellent. So we know that you're a pretty fast-paced guy with your lyrics. Straight as fire is what they tell me, and you know, you got passion. That's the biggest thing about personal narratives is you have passion to do what you want to do. You have passion to sing and passion, or rather rap. You have passion to rap, passion to make lyrics come onto paper, and you know, you've had some struggle too. Everyone doubted me in the beginning. They didn't think this shy kid would be any good at rapping, okay? Because he just wouldn't be. He was shy. He didn't take the stage. But then the words, I wrote them down. I made the rhymes. I made them make sense. I took the stage and I recorded them. And I did a fantastic job. I mean, there's no denying you've had a little bit of struggle. Maybe not as bad as some other people, but your struggle to just deliver lyrics at an early age, just now your struggle is trying to be a well-known rapper who can play with lyrics. So I think that's great, and you know, to bring that passion really develops that struggle and that inspiration, and that's what personal narrative is about. So we'd say that your problem would be that people didn't believe in you at first, right? People didn't believe in you, and that was your struggle. But you overcame it because you wrote these lyrics, you performed these lyrics, and you became one of the greatest rappers of all time. And you put together English literature in your raps, and that's not an easy thing to do. So personal narrative, it's a wonderful thing where you can talk about all your emotions, get anything off your chest, write about yourself, the changes you've made in the world. I mean, just look at me. I started like this, and then I put the glasses on, necklace, got my hat, and I became the rapper that I am today because I put my mind to it. I went through a change. I enjoyed the lyrics. I put them on paper. I took my talent and went far. You can do this in many other things. Sports, basketball, soccer, baseball. You can do it in music. You can do it in going on an adventure, learning something. We all change one way or another, and we want to find that about ourselves. Find what makes us grow as people. And that's what we do for personal narrative. Get it out of our chest, put it on paper. Mine was becoming the rapper that I am, Lil Phelps. But some people, it might be something completely different. And that's okay too. And that's what I'm here to tell you. Personal narrative, it comes from the heart. It comes from your personal story about yourself, how you changed, how you grow as a person. That's where it all starts. Personal narrative. Well, you know, we see your events, you know, before you became the rapper, you were kind of maybe a little bit more shy. You know, you didn't have your lyrics fully developed. You didn't maybe have the full confidence. But then you went and you wrote the lyrics, and then you performed them here and there in small places, and you built the confidence up. And then your last event is probably the most significant one, is that you performed on stage. You got up on the stage confidently and you performed, and that's amazing. And now, you know, big solution of all, the big solution of all is that you have no problem performing and being a very powerful rapper who takes the stage and uses a lot of rhymes and reason in your songs, and you've just become kind of like what everybody else has become, and it's become quite a great personal narrative for you as we go through discussing personal narratives. This is a great story we can touch upon, and I think your biggest trait yet is inspiration. Inspiration. Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you, Lil Phelps. We appreciate you coming here and interviewing with us and filling us in about becoming a rapper. And I think that's so great that you really came in with a different path than somebody else came in. I mean, you didn't say I was going to set out and be a rapper. You were a writer of all things, and then you just decided, hey, I'm good at this. I can put my lyrics together. I can make rhymes, and I'm gonna make some raps. You know, I'm gonna make some raps based on my poems because I'm a writer, and I'm going to perform with my writing. Excellent. Very good job, Lil Phelps. Thank you for coming on the Mr. Phelps Show. That's kind of where I am with personal narrative. Thank you for having me. Hopefully I supply some more tunes for you in the Mr. Phelps Show. And it's been great talking about personal narrative and how I've grown into the rapper, songwriter that I am today. Thank you. We'll be seeing you next time, I'm sure. You know, your lyrics are played throughout our show, and we're glad having you. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, so this is the story outline for Lil Phelps, and it's a personal narrative outline. So this is about his life, a moment from his life that is put into a story. Personal narrative. So who's our protagonist? It's Lil Phelps. Takes place regular home life, home, school, just regular life. Antagonist is the society, as Lil Phelps must own up to society, prove his worth as a rapper to society. The problem is that Lil Phelps is nervous and shy, but he's looking to open up in order to become the best rapper of all time. So then there's 3 events here. These are all problems. These would be the rising action, the climax, and the falling action. So, or thereabouts. So Lil Phelps discovers he has a talent for rhyming. Then Lil Phelps listened to rappers and people who told him he could never take the big stage, and he was kind of put down. And then he takes the big stage and delivers, and that helps build his confidence, which leads us to the solution. Lil Phelps becomes a great rapper. Maybe not the best, but he becomes confident in his ability and is now ready to take the stage in any way. And this is his normal life today, where he's vying to become a popular rapper. And so that's personal narrative. We see some big change over time, where Lil Phelps started out as this shy kid who didn't really put himself out there, and then he eventually found his love for lyrics and took the stage and became one of the biggest rappers ever. All right, now that we've had a little personal interview with Lil Phelps himself to kind of learn a little bit about how he became a rapper, now it's time to hear from Detective Stache, or Sherlock Stache, and see where he is with all these clues. All right. So again, you know, he says the problem is that well, at least my problem is that the coffee mug has been missing, and we're going to hear from him for further details on what he came up with this whole mystery that we have among us. All right, we're getting into some mystery detective writing, which is, you know, one of the pieces of narrative writing. Let's go. Alrighty, Sherlock is back, and I've got my wonderful magnifying glass. Now this is very special to me because it helps me look closely at crime. It is always good to look closely at a crime, and this will do the trick. Alright? It's always, whenever you're in deep thought, deep reading, deep whatever it is, you want to have deep thought. Okay? And this gives me deep thought because we close in on what the problem is. And my magnifying glass has never failed me. Alright. So, I think somebody took the coffee mug. Alright? Because you've had it in the same place for so long, there's only one logical choice, that someone took it. So you think someone stole my coffee mug? Alright, I have my clues. The first clue is this mask. Who has seen this mask before? No one. Exactly. That is the mask of the great Grim Keeper. Okay? And I think he took the coffee mug. Because where else would you find a mask like that? And why was it lying around at the scene that I was called to? So Detective Stache, you say the first clue is this mask? That's rather strange. I'll put this aside. What do we have next here? That's only one clue, so I don't find that completely compelling evidence, but what else you got for me? We must have some more evidence in store to figure out what is the clue for this. So now you want my second clue. Fine. Well, here it is. It's a scarogram. Hello, kind stranger. I have taken your possessions, and I've hidden them around because I want to scare you. And I want you to get confused about who took your possessions, so that I can scare you when you least expect it. That's just the method to my madness. Signed, the Grim Keeper. I take things from you, and then when you go to find them, I scare you when you least expect it. Grim Keeper. So that's it, Mr. Phelps. We've lost the coffee mug, and the Grim Keeper. He takes objects that are close to you so that you can go and find them, and then he jumps out and scares you. It's like a possession thing. He's a very weird guy that is out there trying to do this scary stuff. Still, you know, we got the mask, we got a scarogram, but those could have just been random things. We don't have it tied to the missing coffee mug. We don't know for sure. That's the story of the Grim Keeper, okay? He takes things from people, he possesses them, that's why they call him Keeper. And then, when they go to find them, he scares them. Just so he can scare them. Because as the Grim Keeper scares people, he gets stronger and stronger, and he collects all these scares. And the only way you can stop the Grim Keeper is to not be scared by him. And that has never happened. When he steals your objects, he scares you. He sneaks up on you. He finds your weakness and comes out of nowhere and BAM! He scares you. I've had a lot of crime scenes where I've had to trace back to the Grim Keeper. Believe me. That is an interesting story. You know, the Grim Keeper always leaves a mark. And this time, he left his mask and the scarogram. I mean, it is a little bit believable, but did he really take a coffee mug? Why would he want a coffee mug? You know? Do you have any other clues that we could go off of? Because this just isn't, you know, I don't know if I believe this or not. So, the third clue is that when I was called to the crime scene, there was very many noises at night. It was very noisy. But when I got there, there was no one there. So I know that it happened at night. And I know it was at a scene of your set when no one was there at night. Did you happen to catch the guy by chance? This Grim Keeper or whoever he is? Oh, I caught him already. Once I heard about this and you called me, I brought him in for questioning. And I can send him on the show right here. But the thing is that he no longer has the coffee mug. He too has had a story, and the coffee mug has left him and it's going in a trail of stories, I think. So I need to be on it to find it. But he's here. You can have a word with him. He can fill you in on some of the missing pieces. He didn't have the mug. So you're telling me we're kind of back at square one right now? This story continues. The solution is I haven't found it yet. I saw the Grim Keeper, or I have evidence to believe the Grim Keeper was there, and I captured him. But he doesn't have the coffee mug. It's gone to another place. And so you must check in with him. I will send him on your show. Okay? He got caught, but he escaped. I know where to find him, and I will send him here before I arrest him. Thank you, Detective Stache. Your work has been great here, and I just need you to take care of this next task so we can get the Grim Keeper up here on stage, or on the Mr. Phelps show, so I can talk to him. So, you must let me go now. Let me go find him, okay? Thank you, Mr. Phelps, for having me. This crime scene is not solved yet. We will figure it out more, because it goes to another story now. Alright. Take care. Thank you for having me on your show. Have a good day. Thank you. Thank you. You know, Detective Stache, he's always been there. Even if he doesn't have the answer, he's always willing to find it. Alright, so we're going to look at Sherlock Stache's story map, and this covers the mystery genre. So, mystery, suspense, we usually put with that. So our protagonist is Sherlock Stache, or Detective Stache. Setting, what we do know is the Mr. Phelps show. That's where it takes place, though it changes a little bit, but that's the main one. And the antagonist, we're not quite sure yet. We know there's an antagonist because Sherlock Stache is trying to find whoever has the coffee mug. We just don't know who it is. So the problem here is that someone stole the coffee mug on the set of the Mr. Phelps show, and now it's Sherlock Stache's job to get it back. So then we see three events here. And in this story, we did an event as a clue. Okay, so it makes it pretty easy. Each clue is a different event. Okay, so clue number one, there's a mask lying around. Clue number two, he receives a scarogram. And clue number three, noises at night. These clues add to the problem about someone stole the coffee mug, because Sherlock Stache is trying to figure out who it is, and these clues get him closer. And then, of course, we come to the conclusion. The detective captures a Grim Reaper skeleton guy, but he does not have the mug. That being said, the Grim Keeper is the one whose story we go to next. So we know the solution is that the Grim Keeper was involved, and we're on our way to finding the mug. So while it's not completely conclusive, we have a resolution in that a new story begins and the Grim Keeper is involved. And I just noticed something really creepy. Where did my mask go? The mask that was the evidence. Where did it go? I can feel some really creepy vibes right now. It's getting really, really scary. The mask was just right here, but now it's gone. Oh no. What do we have coming next? Better take some coffee to stay calm. Because I hear that music. The mask is gone, and there's a very eerie feeling around here. Oh no. The lights went out. It's getting scary. I better hold this. I'm shaking fear. Oh no. Oh no. What's that noise? What's that noise? That music. It's getting louder. It's getting louder. Ah! Who are you? Who are you? hurt myself. So, you're the Grim Keeper, and you're very terrifying. Why do they call you that?
I keep all the scares. I take everyone's objects, and then I lure them in and scare them out of their pants. I am the keeper of objects, and the keeper of scares. The Grim Keeper.
You know, you look very scary today, like you're from some horror movie. Is that your narrative genre? Horror? I'm guessing it is. That's kind of a dumb question. Please don't hurt me.
I shape fear in anything that comes across me. Making horror is my favorite thing in the entire world. And I do it when no one knows I'm there, in the heart of night, when I sneak up on them, bam! I am the Grim Keeper.
So, I see you like to build suspense. You sneak up on people and scare them out of their pants, like you have fun doing that? I mean, why would you do such a thing? What's the point?
Of course, suspense is the greatest feeling anyone can ever have. To scare their pants off them, to scare them when they least expect it. Bam! You can never put down a good story if there's always suspense. There's always more to come, more to come, more to come, and then finally, boom! It all comes out at once and it scares you. But it makes for a great story, doesn't it?
So I guess that makes sense. We all need a good scare for once. It's always good hearing horror stories, reading some horror books, sitting by the campfire and talking about ghosts and things like that. Woo! So it's always fun doing that. So, but let me cut to the chase. Like, I love the horror genre and it's great, but what's up with this coffee mug? Do you have it?
Your coffee mug? You're asking me about a coffee mug? I did have one. I tried to destroy it, but I couldn't.
You were gonna destroy it? Why?
I wanted to destroy it. I don't keep all the things I have, and I wanted to destroy it because it was evidence to find me where I am. You know, Detective Stache has been after me for ever and ever. And I knew he had a connection to this coffee mug, and I didn't want to be scared, plus some objects from humans I don't trust. And so I was going to destroy it, but I was on a scare and I lost it. It fell out of my pocket or my long cape, or whatever you want to call it. But I couldn't retain it, and so it fell and I lost it. So I had the coffee mug, but it's gone now. It was one of the objects that have a great theft they had on the set of the Mr. Phelps show, but now it is gone. And it's probably your fault.
I see. Well, you are kind of scary and intimidating, so I could see why people would want to find you to put an end to their terrors. But how could you do such a thing? I mean, you know, that's somebody's coffee mug that you have, whether you know it or not. So, what did you say happened to it? If you had it, where is it now? I just have to know.
So you want to know who has it? A unicorn. I saw a unicorn in the distance take it and run off in the forest. And I was going to get it from it, but I said, you know what? I have to get going because the ones who I was scaring, somebody heard my noise and they were going to come and find me, and I had to sneak out. So a lot of suspense there. I couldn't scare them much longer. I had to run, or else I would be caught forever and ever and not have a career in scaring anymore. So I let that unicorn go. And so that unicorn has it. I think his name was Cornelius or something. Those unicorns, we've been after them for years, and they're still alive in the forest.
So, where can I find this unicorn?
Well, He lurks in the forest. The only way to get him out is to call him. There's a song, used to be a TikTok hit, called Into the Thick of It. And if you play that song in the forest and call his name, Cornelius, he will eventually come out. It's not always instant. Sometimes it takes a couple hours, but he answers to the call and to the song, Into the Thick of It. But you have to dance to it. It's the only way to get the unicorn to come out into the day and into where you have summoned him. Good luck with that.
Yes, I am up for it. I need this unicorn because I need my coffee mug back. If I don't have my coffee mug, then my show won't be as successful as it is now.
Oh, and I forgot one thing. You must also tap your feet together. You can't touch them. You have to tap your feet during the song and during the dance. It's the only way to get the unicorn to come out. Sing or listen to Into the Thick of It. Tap your feet and call his name. And eventually, he will come out.
I'll be seeing you, Mr. Grim Keeper. You take care, and don't scare the pants off too many people out there.
Well, Mr. Phelps, it's been weird, but I must get going. The detective will certainly be after me again, as he already has been. So, boo!
Alright, so this is the story map for The Grim Keeper, which covers the horror genre, or haunted genre, or whatever you want to call it, which you can see there also is a lot of suspense. A different kind of suspense than what Sherlock's Stache had, where his suspense was finding clues, solving the mystery. The suspense here is not getting scared. That's kind of the horror suspense. So that's where we are, horror genre. Our protagonist is the Grim Keeper. The setting takes place in the woods, and the antagonists are people. Okay, because as the Grim Keeper will tell you, people are his enemy. If they spot him, he kind of withers away and can't scare people anymore. So the problem is that the Grim Keeper stole the coffee mug because it was a way that the humans could stay up late and sneak up on him, and he took the coffee mug as a joke, as a way to figure out more about people, and he's out to destroy it because he wants to prevent his identity from being seen. So anyway, it's kind of a tough concept to grasp, but the point is he had the coffee mug. So our story continues. And then this is what happened. The Grim Keeper finds the mug in an old house in the middle of the forest, and he pockets it, like the other items he has taken over the years. Since he is the Grim Keeper, he takes items. The Grim Keeper hides away at night and scares souls who are up late with suspense, but he loses the mug in the process. And then we see that he escapes because he has fear that someone will wake up and see him. So the Grim Keeper escapes the forest, and while he does, he sees the unicorn run off with the coffee mug. So we see the events right here. We see the suspense, some horror where he scares people, and he's scared of being caught. And then the solution is the Grim Keeper loses sight of the coffee mug, but he does head back to the woods to keep hiding, or he leaves the woods to keep hiding. He goes to safety, so he's eventually saved, but he loses the coffee mug in the process.
Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Into the thick of
Oh,
it.
Cornelius, Cornelius, come out, wherever you are. Cornelius, come out, wherever you are. Looks like this unicorn sighting thing might be a fraud, because I don't see him anywhere. But, of course, I was listening to a Grim Reaper, or Grim Keeper, so who knows what validity I have there anyway. But I hope this isn't a dead end, but I don't see anything. I'll wait out here a little bit more, and then we'll call it quits. Let's put this on. Cornelius! Cornelius!
Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. We're going round in circles.
Oh, so, wait a minute. It's a unicorn. No way. It actually worked. It just must take some time after you do the call to summon it, but it's coming. Is that you, Cornelius, the unicorn? Come on, take a seat.
Ah, yes. My name is Cornelius, the wonderful, friendly, magical, furry unicorn. Most people don't think we exist, but here I am before your eyes.
So, you're a unicorn named Cornelius. How cool is that? I didn't think unicorns existed, but I guess you do. It's a fantasy genre, right?
I don't know, you tell me, do I look fake? Is this the fantasy genre? I don't know, I look pretty real to you, don't you think? I'm a unicorn sitting here in front of you talking to you. Yes, some people call us a fantasy, but look at me. I am Cornelius the unicorn, and I like to have fun. I like to be in colors. I think living in the magical forest is great, and it's obviously not a real fantasy. It's my life. That's me. Cornelius the unicorn.
I mean, fantasy's big. People love making their own utopias, dystopias, and making places that exist, that never existed, that could never exist. But we can imagine it, and we can use our imagination to paint a picture for the audience and create a fantasy world. And unicorns, they're part of it. Just like you, Cornelius.
Really, sir? Be polite. Do I look fake to you? I don't think so. I am Cornelius the unicorn, and we live in a magical forest, and we've all come from a colorful clan of many unicorns, and that's just who I am. I'm Cornelius the unicorn, Cornelius the unicorn, and I am here, and right in front of you. Do I look fake? That is a childish question to ask, sir.
Well, I could just be imagining this whole thing. I mean, yeah, up until now, I never thought unicorns formally existed, especially in my backyard or the woods, or in the thick of it, if you know what I mean. But I summoned you, and you actually did come, so I'm surprised. But I did summon you here for a specific reason. I'm looking for my coffee mug.
Now, sir, don't you already have a coffee mug right in front of you? I mean, come on, we're not playing games here. If you summon Cornelius the unicorn by singing Into the Thick of It, you better have a real reason to do so, sir. I'm not just clowning around. I am a unicorn, but I am a very busy unicorn who lives in a magical forest. And if you summon me, you must have a very good reason for doing so. Otherwise, you take me out of my pixie dust.
Yes, this is my coffee mug, but it's my substitute coffee mug. I had an actual coffee mug that was, at least Detective Stache said, was taken from me, and I'm trying to retrace my steps and find it, but, you know, my clues led me to you here, to summon you here, so do you know anything about my coffee mug?
Oh, I see. So you're talking about the other coffee mug I found. Yes, I certainly did have it, but I couldn't hold on to it, you know. I found it in the bushes. I thought it was a great thing to have with pixie dust, you know? I thought I could put all my pixie dust there and store it so that I could use it at a later time. Us unicorns like to hold on to our dust before we use it and do magical things. Well, apparently I lost it because I was trying to escape the forest when a giant dragon came out and was shooting fire and going, and I had to escape it because, you know, these dragons are very evil and very, very big, and I had to run away like the noble steed that I am and get out of the way because these dragons are dangerous, and I think in the process I lost some of my magic, some of my pixie dust in that coffee cup that I was using to hold it, and I don't know, I guess I just dropped it and lost it, sir. But I didn't know it was yours, I really didn't. I had found it in a bush, and that's how I had it.
So where did this coffee mug end up then? Because, like, I don't see you have it right now, unless you're hiding it.
Look, I'm not sure. All I can tell you is I think it rolled down this big hill and onto the beach area, and I could look out and I saw a big pirate ship, so maybe one of the pirates took it. Maybe he thought it was buried treasure or something. I don't know, but I had to get out of there. You know, there's pirates, there's dragons, there's everything in the magical forest, and I had to get to the safe area where no one else would bother me, and so I wasn't too worried about the coffee mug once. I was more worried about surviving that, you know, there's a lot of hunters out there that hunt us unicorns for our magic, and, you know, I had to escape and be safe, so I was more worried about that at the time.
So you're saying a pirate has it. This is getting a little tiring. I mean, first I had Detective Stache, who caught the Grim Keeper, who said he saw you with it, and now you're saying you saw a pirate ship and you think a pirate has it. Alright, well, I appreciate you being here and coming, but, you know, I really need to find this. So do you know where I can find this pirate?
That's a good question. I wonder if he's at the old antique store. You know, pirates come to our island a lot and come to our forest looking to hunt us down. They are very much antique sellers because pirates, they're greedy and they like a lot of treasure. And I wonder if he had brought that to the antique store to try to exchange for money because they are valuable, our pixie dust. Everybody wants it, you know. They don't believe in magic, and we have the magic. So I would think you could find him now, or at least one of his pirate friends.
All right, I see. One last question for you. I want you to describe your magic. I mean, you know, we think of unicorns and we don't know what to think because we imagine them, but you're quite magical. Can you give me a description about you, since you're a magical character and there's a lot of description and fantasy, a lot of vivid imagery? That would be great if you could tell me about yourself in that way.
Sure, I can tell you. We are unicorns and we are very majestic. As you can see, I am part of the Pink Clan, but we have other clans like the Orange Clan, the Red Clan, and we are all magical, and we have a wonderful magical mane in the back of our heads, a rainbow mane, and sometimes it dictates what kind of magic we have, and my magic is just super speed. I have speed and I can run, and as I run, there's stars, and I create magic on the ground, but there's other unicorns who are just excellent at creating, you know, using their horns to create magical passages and lighting up the skies and lighting up the sky at night and many different magical things that us unicorns can have. And of course, we all look similar. Horses with horns on our heads, but our manes are different colors, beautiful colors. We've got a lot of fur, and we just have magic. Each one of us has magic that we can use in different ways to change our pathways, to change our future, to change anything, and so we're very valuable, but we remain hidden where most people can't see us. So they think we're a fantasy. But, Mr. Phelps, do I look fake to you? I am a dancing unicorn. Of course I am not fake. I am Cornelius the unicorn, and I live in the thick of it, and you can only find me by calling me. That's who I am.
All right, well, we'll be seeing you, Cornelius. Take care, take care.
Anyway, I better get going now. I think the pirates are coming, or somebody's going to discover me, and once they discover me, they're going to be after my head, and they're going to be after my magic, and Cornelius can't have that, so I must go back to my unicorn friends. I must say goodbye, Mr. Phelps. Thank you.
So our next story map features Cornelius the Unicorn and the fantasy genre, since it includes unicorns and dragons inside the story. Our protagonist is Cornelius the Unicorn. It takes place in the woods, so that's our setting, and the antagonists are the dragons who are wreaking havoc in the woods. So the problem here is that Cornelius comes across a coffee mug, and he decides to keep it because he believes the magical pixie dust can give him special powers like Pegasus wings. And every unicorn has pixie dust, but to be able to store it in his coffee mug would give him more power. So that's kind of the problem, is that he finds it and he ends up losing it. But that's generally what the story's about. So the event is that the unicorn finds the coffee mug in a bush. That's the first event. Second event is the unicorn is now escaping from a dragon who is terrorizing the forest. And I guess that's really the main problem. The coffee mug is a problem because he wants to hold on to it, but one of the main problems is running from the dragon. And then the unicorn drops the coffee mug. It slips off his horn, rolls down the hill, and the unicorn just barely escapes the clutches of the dragon. And he battles the dragon, defeats the dragon with his magic, but in the process, he loses the coffee mug. So Cornelius does lose the coffee mug, and that kind of, disrupts his problem, but he does escape safely. So the solution is that the unicorn is safe from harm's way, but he loses the coffee mug. And so that's where we are. We're still following the journey of the coffee mug, but this is Cornelius the Unicorn. Now I'm going to go catch a pirate, see if I can go find one, because we gotta find this coffee mug. And maybe it's at the antique store. We'll see. But whoa! I guess I don't even need to. There's a pirate here. What's a pirate doing here? Alright, well, Mr. Pirate Sir, you can come and take a seat. I'm a little scared about what's coming next. You're almost as terrifying as the Grim Keeper, but come and take a seat.
Arr, mateys! Arr! Well, hello, Mr. Phelps. It's not every day you see a pirate on your show. Arr, arr!
So, Mr. Pirate, how'd you get here?
So why did I come here? Because Detective Stache told me there's some buried treasure. Arr! Pirates can never turn down buried treasure. So here I am. Give it to me now, or I will have you walk the plank. Arr! You landlubber.
Ah, so you know about my missing coffee mug then, Pirate.
Arr! My name is Captain Schmook, not One-Eyed Pete or whatever name you give me. It's Captain Schmook. You better call me that, or you'll walk the plank. Arr!
Sorry, sir. I mean, sorry, Captain Schmook. Now that I know your name, that's better. I'm just really trying to find this coffee mug. You see, right now I have a substitute coffee mug, and it's not the same as my Mr. Phelps Show coffee mug, and so I need to find the right coffee mug. You know, I've had quite an adventure.
You might have had quite an adventure, but not an adventure as crazy as mine. Look, I got a hook from being bitten by a shark in the water, and I lost my hand, and now I have a hook. Plus, I have a plank, and I got my eye patch and a sword.
So, Captain Schmook, you'd say your genre of writing is action and adventure, since, you know, you live the life of a pirate. It's pretty adventurous. You go and raid gold out of places and treasure and coffee mugs.
Yes, of course it's adventure. You're just a landlubber. You haven't experienced adventure until you go off on sea on a ship and with pirates and you go finding loot in the lands. And yes, it's a wonderful adventure. Arr! Arr! Nothing like any landlubber ever experienced. And we went down to Davy Jones' locker to find the hidden treasure. Arr!
Since you're into antiques and things like that, you know, things that are worth money, so you'd say action adventure, you know, you have to ward off crocodiles, sharks, and all those types of things.
And you have to watch out for sharks and crazy pirates that are against us, and arr! And urban legends that are deep in the sea, arr!
I'm just really trying to find this coffee mug. You see, right now I have a substitute coffee mug, and it's not the same as my Mr. Phelps Show coffee mug, and so I need to find the right coffee mug.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Arr, yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Arr, yo ho, a pirate's life for me. Arr. You like my singing? I learned that as I was on the ships, trying to search for loot with my pirate friends. Arr!
That's beautiful music to my ears, and you've got such a vibrant language. I think that's great for character development, if you know what I mean. I mean, you don't often have too many characters where you can step in and talk like a pirate and bring out your true passion, but you are definitely one of them, and I feel like if I were writing a story, I'd want to use that kind of vocabulary, that kind of way of talking with my characters, because, you know, it's pirates and it's cool, and it, you know, it fits the time, putting myself inside somebody else's shoes and walking around in them. Anyway, I'm getting a little off task, even though this show is about narrative writing, but I must ask you, what about that coffee mug? What happened here? I mean, evidence points towards you having it.
Fine, you want to know what happened to the coffee mug? Yes, I found it on the shore. I found it on the shore of this island where we were looking for loot, and I took it with me. But then, we had other pirates that were coming. They found our whereabouts, and they were attacking us from our last adventure, where we stole treasure from another island, and we beat them to it, and arr! So they were really mad, and those pirates and landlubbers and whatever you want to call them were trying to shoot us with cannonballs, and bam, bam, bam! And so I had to get in our ship and leave, and who knows what happened to the mug. I had it with me, and I kept it. I said, this is going to be a lot of money when I bring it to the antique store back home. But then, bam, bam, they hit our ship, and bam, I went flying into the ocean, and there was a tsunami too, and big waves and big stuff, and it's hard to remember that day, but I lost that coffee mug somewhere in that mess of an adventure. Arr! It was quite suspenseful. I was on the edge of my seat, and I basically walked the plank.
So you got thrown into the ocean. You did have quite an adventure. Wow. But what happened to the coffee mug? You must have lost it then. I mean, grabbing onto a coffee mug in the water, I mean, that wasn't your first intention, I guess, once you got thrown.
Yes, I lost the coffee mug at one point in the water, but it ended up at the antique store, and so I went there and I found it again, and I took it.
You said you stole it back?
Ha 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 ha, here is the coffee mug. Your beloved coffee mug that you say you love so much. Well, guess what? It's mine now. I took it from Davy Jones' laka in the antique store. Haha! I stole it and ran out with it, and now I have it. What a beautiful coffee mug. And it's got special powers. Inside this mug is a genie who can grant all your wishes. Arr! You wish you had it, landlubber. You wish you had it. But it's mine.
There's a genie inside it? Are you kidding me?
Yes, you better believe it. There is a genie inside. All I have to do is tap it 3 times and shake it up. And out will come the genie. Mahahaha, you landlubber. I have one more wish left. You will have none, because it's my coffee mug, and I will be the richest pirate in the entire world. Captain Schmook. Mwahahaha.
I do not owe you anything, you crazy and crooked pirate. You have stolen the coffee mug, and it was not rightfully yours. So now, you shall be cursed for eternity.
Oh no, oh no, the genie. I thought he was going to grant me wishes, but he's after me. I better get going. Bye, you landlubber. I better get out of here because he's after me for stealing the mug. You do bad things, and you get paid for it. Arr!
Alright, Captain Schmook. Story map for action and adventure, which kind of crosses over some of the other ones we saw. There's suspense, there's some fantasy probably mixed in here, maybe not so much realistic fiction, but it kind of crosses over a bunch of different genres, but just another perspective of genre and focused more on action adventure. So the protagonist is Captain Schmook, and the setting is it takes place on a pirate ship and partially an island, and the antagonists are the warring pirates that Captain Schmook and his crew are fighting. And, you know, one of the clear problems is that Captain Schmook seeks the coffee mug because it's worth money, and he wants to keep this coffee mug, and, you know, pirates are often considered greedy and people who steal and fight for loot, and so Captain Schmook really prizes this coffee mug. That's a problem, but he's also escaping other pirates who are fighting him for that loot. So one of the events is that Captain Schmook finds the mug washed ashore, decides to keep it, the buried treasure as he calls it, and then he is on the pirate ship and he gets attacked by other pirates. So that's a second event. And then the third event is that the ship escapes, but then gets blasted to pieces by a giant tsunami and the other pirates, and so the mug gets thrown overboard along with Captain Schmook. Now the solution, Captain Schmook survives the tsunami, the waves. He survives. He washes ashore, but he ends up getting the coffee mug, and he ends up getting it back, and he has it, and he's ready to summon the genie inside it. And that's where we're left off.
Yes, I am the majestic genie. I am here because I have been summoned from the great coffee cup. Ha 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 ha. The one and only special coffee cup where the genie lives inside. I have a slightly scary mask, but I am not that scary. Believe me.
So, you're a genie. You grant like 3 wishes, do all that cool stuff, you know? Because I'm here. I'm looking to make some wishes.
I can only grant you one wish, Mr. Phelps, and one wish only, because my others have been used up. So, you tell me what your wish is, and I shall grant it. But remember, you cannot ask for more wishes. You cannot wish that life is eternal. and you cannot wish to fall in love. You can only wish about material things. Thank you, Mr. Phelps, for saving me from that pirate. I must thank you with one wish of your choice. Think wisely.
Alright, I'm not gonna wish for much, okay? I understand. You've had a tough life being cooped up in my coffee mug all this time without me knowing, so I'm going to wish for your freedom for one, with one caveat to that. Your freedom allows me to keep the coffee mug and to no longer lose the coffee mug so that I can enjoy coffee in its rightful place on the Mr. Phelps Show. I hope to one day put my own logo on it as well so that I have a coffee mug that's predominantly for my show and people would know and not take it, but you know, that's a start. At least have my coffee mug back so that we can have a show with the rightful coffee mug. Could you grant that wish for me?
Alright, I must now use my magical powers. Bing bang shabam! Bing bang shabam! Abra, cadabra, alakazam! Shing bang bing kabam!
Whoa. Thank you, Genie. Look at the service. I asked for one cup, I got it back, but I got all these other cups too. Isn't that great? Coffee tastes so much better in that mug. I love it. And thank you, Genie, for all these coffee cups. It's so generous of you for helping the Mr. Phelps Show, but this is the one I really wanted. But I'll have these as substitutes, backups, coffee mugs. Gotta love that coffee, don't you? Thank you, Genie. I've had quite an adventure and I really appreciate it, but you know what? It's going to be my turn to take off and leave because we've just talked about narrative writing and I've led you through 5 or 6 different narrative stories, I guess, and now you know what it's like to have different genres of narrative writing, to use description, to look at characters, to look at plots, and to look at all these things that make up wonderful narrative writing. And imagination. You cannot forget imagination. I mean, look at all the people we ran into. Anyway, I thank you all. It's been great. I'm going to take my coffee mug and take off. Bye, Mr. Genie. And later on I will return to the set with another show on the Mr. Phelps Show with coffee. Thank you, thank you. Have a good one.
Subscribe to the Mr. Phelps Show on YouTube.
Well, this seems like one fantastic show. Maybe I should make the Genie Show. Abracadabra, alakazam. Abracadabra, boom, boom, ba-doom, boom, 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 ba-doom. Abracadabra, alakazam. Whoosh. Welcome to the Genie Show. Until next time.